The beloved historical fantasy drama Outlander is currently working on the show's next season, which is expected to be bigger and better in many ways. The show is filled with interesting supporting characters with unique motives and backstories, each of whom is strong enough to be the main character of their own story. So let's look at 10 characters on the show that give off intense main character energy. First up, at number 10, we have Brianna. Like her parents, Jamie and Claire's daughter, Brianna is no forgettable character. She's full of wit, compassion, and strength, qualities that make up the best protagonists. There are many reasons why Brianna gives off main character energy, and one primary reason why she deserves to be on this list is that she's the main reason Claire ever reunited with Jamie. She also traveled through time on her own to find her parents. She's strong, listens to her heart, and makes scary journeys from Scotland to the Americas. Even after being assaulted, she shows one last kindness to Stephen Bonnet when she lets him die an easier death. Not to mention, she's got a killer shot and isn't shy about pursuing her passions in bringing 20th century inventions to a time when they were unheard of. She's also an attentive mother to Jemmy and has a sweet love interest on the show. If that isn't enough to give your leading character energy, we don't know what does. At number 9, it's Marsali. Marsali was introduced to the show in an explosive setting. She found her father with another woman who was his first wife, so it's obvious that she and Claire were off to a bad start. But it didn't take long for Marsali to warm up to her stepmother. She's easily one of the most underrated supporting characters on the show, which gives off significant main character energy. Marsali is strong and hard-headed. She falls in love with Fergus and gives us sweet moments on the show and moments of great strength. She's the first character to take an interest in Claire's medical practice and instantly proves to be an incredible student. Marsali, like the show's protagonist Claire, is full of courage. After Lionel Brown violently assaults Claire, the antagonist again ends up at her house. Instead of helping him heal, Marsali avenges Claire and kills Lionel. She does it to protect her family, and in doing so, proves the major amount of grit she possesses. Coming up at number 8 is Murtagh. Murtagh is quite the character in Outlander. It's no secret he's a fan favorite on the show, and because of how loved he was, showrunners made choices to keep writing him into the show's storylines. While Murtagh has a close relationship with Jamie and Claire, he had a whole life outside of them. He was up to so many things and had lived such a rich life that we think he had the potential to be more than just a supporting character. Murtagh was in love with Ellen Mackenzie, Jamie's mother. We all know she ended up marrying someone else, but Murtagh never stopped being loyal to Ellen's son. He's a strong, stubborn man who leads with his core values and doesn't let a lot dissuade him. He was one of the original Highlanders and was the last one standing. He had strong leadership skills besides being a loyal godfather to Jamie Fraser. His romance with Jocasta ends tragically, but only makes his life more interesting. There are endless reasons why he's one of the best supporting characters on the show. Following up at number 7 is Ian. Ian has an adventurous soul and leads with it throughout the show. Since he's Jamie's nephew, he has the stubbornness of his uncle, which makes him follow to the Americas. Ian leads a fascinating life and even becomes a family member of a Native American tribe. His great independence and openness allows him to have a unique adventure with the tribe. His time away from the main characters on the show deserves a whole story of its own because it's so complex and rich in its way. Did we mention Ian has a half-wolf companion? Rollo earns Ian major points for giving off the main character's energy. The kind-hearted and energetic Scot charms the audience off their feet. His laid-back, sensitive, and sweet outlook on things makes him a great character to watch on screen because he makes you want to root for him. Since he is a mix of many cultures and this newfound identity that he forms allows him to have a unique perspective on things, he could very well have a story of his own. At number 6, we have Fergus. Fergus was just a child when he first appeared on the show, but he was such a charming and supporting character that it was hard to forget him. He developed a sweet, loving relationship with Claire and Jamie, who adopted him as a son. His life, however, isn't just limited to being a son to the two protagonists. He leads an exciting life of his own. He passionately falls in love with Marsali, her being a strong character herself. The two are the perfect recipe for an excellent main character. He's always helped Jamie in everything, from the printing press to the building of Fraser's Ridge. However, his major moment comes after Claire is abducted by Lionel and his henchmen, leaving behind a knocked-out Marsali. He uses alcohol to deal with the trauma of what happened to Claire and Marsali. It's the darkest moment of his life, but he pulls through even after a failed suicide attempt. The fact that he finds the will to live and is ready to be a better husband to Marsali puts him right up there with the best. Next at number 5 is Roger. Roger becomes a time traveler out of love for Brianna. Having a headstrong love interest and jumping through time has to be one of the best defining features of the main character. But Roger wasn't always fantastic enough to be one. In the beginning, he isn't the best of boyfriends because he doesn't see eye to eye with Brianna about how she wants to live. One of the most hated things about Roger is the fact that he got cold feet at the thought that Jemmy might not be his. He, however, redeemed himself, thanks to his major arc where he was allowed to grow as a character. His main character's energy best comes out when he realizes his need to have more courage, and even though he can't compare to the man Jamie is, Roger understands he can be worthy in his own way. Roger becomes not only a commendable husband and father, but also a man who thinks on his feet when faced with the decision to save his drowning nephew. As a minister on the Ridge, he displays unique leadership skills, so we can't help but warm up to him. Moving on to number 4 is Louise de La Tour. You might remember her from when Claire and Jamie were in France. Louise de La Tour wasn't a character that stuck around for more seasons, but she made a lasting impression. She was a free-spirited character, leading an increasingly complex life. She's quite the socialite who frequently attends extravagant parties and lives by her own rules. She and Claire instantly become friends, and she helps Claire navigate the delicate social scene she thrives in. You know she's an exciting character when you find out she's pregnant with the child of Charles Stewart, the Bonnie Prince, instead of her own husband. Her character is feisty, but caring, and that alone gives off spicy main character energy. She's also eccentric because she has a biting pet for a monkey and loves walking around naked. She's definitely among the most exciting characters on the show and could have been a league protagonist in an alternate dimension. Coming up at the 3rd spot is Lizzie. Lizzie started her journey as Brianna's handmaid. She and Brianna became close to the point that Lizzie did everything in her power to protect her, even if that meant falsely accusing Roger of assaulting Brianna because she mistook him for Bonnet. Lizzie, however, proved herself to be more than just a supporting character because the girl literally married 2 men. She took her life into her own hands and led a whirlwind romance with the twins, Keziah and Josiah. If that doesn't scream main character energy, what does? At number 2, we have Malva. If Malva's character hadn't taken a turn for the worst, she could have been a real main character. Before Malva became a villain, and consequently a victim, she was a wide-eyed girl curious about the world. Malva was a daughter of an abusive father, so her access to knowledge was restricted, yet she took a keen interest in Claire's medicinal practice. She could have been a bright-eyed apprentice if she didn't have a religious father who saw Claire as a bad influence. There also seemed to be a budding chemistry between Malva and Ian. Had that been explored, Malva had the potential to be an interesting protagonist. Finally, at the 1st spot, we have Ned Gowan. Ned Gowan was an adventurous lawyer we met early on his time in the show. The committed lawyer that served the Mackenzies used his skill many times to save Claire's life. He gives off the main character's energy through and through. The man thought up schemes in the middle of absolute chaos and always managed to succeed. He not only helped Claire escape a trial for witchcraft, but also is the very reason why Jamie and Claire ever married. Since he was still alive in the 1700s, we could hope to see him again. That's a wrap for this video. Which character do you think gives off the major main character's energy? Let us know in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you at the next one.